Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining part of the chapter number 9. The chapter name is Reproduction in Animals. Class 8, Subject Science, NCERT. In the previous video of this chapter, we had seen what is the necessity of reproduction, and then after we had seen that there are two different modes of reproduction, that is sexual and asexual reproduction. So in that we had seen sexual reproduction in animals. In that we had seen male reproductive organ and female reproductive organs in animals or in human beings. Then after we had seen fertilization process, and in that we had also seen internal and external fertilization. Then after we had seen development of the embryo. So now let we continue the chapter with viviparous and oviparous animals. So you have learned that some animals give birth to young ones, and while some animals lay eggs which later develop into young ones. So the animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous animals, and those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous animals. Here the following activity will help you to understand the better and differentiate between viviparous and oviparous animals. So the animals who give the birth to the young ones is known as the viviparous animal, and who lay the eggs are known as the oviparous animals. So here now let we see the activity number 9.2. For that, try to observe eggs of the following organisms like frog, lizard, butterfly or moth, hen and crow or any other bird. So were you able to observe the eggs of all of them and make the drawings of the eggs that you have observed? So here in the picture the eggs of different organisms are shown to you, that is of frog, lizard, butterfly, moth, crow, pigeon and hen. The eggs of these organisms are shown to you here in this picture. So you observe that the eggs of few animals are easy to observe because their mothers lay them outside their bodies, and these are examples of oviparous animals. But you would not be able to collect the eggs of dog, cow or cat. Why? Because this is they do not lay the eggs. So that's why definitely you cannot see the eggs of dog, cow and cat. The mother give birth to the young ones, and these are the examples of viviparous animals. So these are here some examples of oviparous and viviparous animals are given to you. Now can you give some more examples? You can find now the more examples of oviparous and viviparous animals. Here now let we see the next one, that is young ones to adults. How these animals grow to the adults. So the new individuals which are born or hatched from the eggs continue to grow till they become adults. They are continuously growing until they become adult, and in some animals the young ones may look very different from the adults. Like here the examples are given to you. Recall this life cycle of the silkworm that you had already studied in standard 7. That is, first step in that is egg, then after it further develop into a larva, or you can say caterpillar. It is further will grow into the pupa, and at the end it will grow into the adult. So these are the different steps of the life cycle of silkworm. So you studied this one in class 7, and frog is another such examples in which the adult shows the very differently, or it shows different characteristics than the young ones. Now observe the different stages of frog starting from the egg to the adult stage. We find that there are three distinct or different stages, that is egg, then after next stage is tadpole, or you can also say it as the larva, and last one is adult frog. So don't the tadpole looks so different from the adult? Let we see in this figure. So can you imagine now that these tadpoles would someday will become a frogs? So similarly the caterpillar or the pupa of the silkworm looks very different from the adult moth. Here the different steps of the life cycle of the frog is shown to you. Here the first one in A, the eggs of the frog is shown to you. Then after it further will develop in the tadpole, which is the early stage. So it is known as the early tadpole also. Then it will further grow into the late tadpole. That means it is the stage in the tadpole state, and from this now it will further grow into the adult frog. So these are the different steps of the life cycle of frog. Now the features that are present in the adult are not found in the young ones. The features which are found in the adult frog are not found in the tadpole or caterpillars thereafter. So then what happens to the tadpole and caterpillars thereafter? Now can you think that what will happen to the tadpoles or caterpillars? So you must have seen a beautiful moth emerging, or you can say coming out of the cocoon. And in this case, the tadpoles, they are transformed into adult capable of jumping and swimming frogs. So the transformation of the larva into an adult through this drastic, or you can say measure changes, is called metamorphosis. The transformation of the larva into an adult through the drastic changes is called the metamorphosis. So now what about the changes that we observe in our body as we grow? So do you think that we too undergo metamorphosis? That means we are also changing drastically from newborn baby to a adult. So in human beings, body parts similar to those present in the adults are present from the time of birth. That means the characteristics which are present in us are there from the starting, that means from the time of the birth. So in the human beings, metamorphosis is not there. So this is about oviparous and viviparous animals. Now the another mode of reproduction is given to you, that is asexual reproduction. So far we have learned about reproduction in some familiar animals, but now what about very small animals like hydra, then microscopic organisms like amoeba? So do you think how they reproduce? So now let me find about these organisms. So here one activity is given to you, that is activity number 9.3. Get a permanent slide of hydra, observe them using the hand lens or a microscope. That means you have to observe the hydra. Look out for the bulges from the parent body. Bulges, that means this one, outer growing part which looks like a bumps. So now count the number of bulges that you see in the different slides, and also note the size of these bulges, and draw the diagram of hydra as you see it and compare it with the given figure. So here you have to accept that because you cannot right now perform the activity. So this is the picture of hydra. This shows the bulges in the hydra. So now let me see more about the hydra. So in each hydra there are many, maybe one or more bulges, and these bulges are the developing new individuals, as they are called buds. So this is known as the buds because from this now new individual of hydra will born. So recall the presence of buds in yeast also. So in hydra too, the new individuals developed as outgrowths from the single parent. From the single parents, this outgrowth will grow, and this one further develop into the new individual. So this type of reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction, in which a single parent is involved. And since new individuals develop from the buds in hydra, this type of asexual reproduction is called budding. So in hydra the type of reproduction is budding. The another method of reproduction, asexual reproduction, is given here, that is observed in the microscopic organism, that is amoeba. So now let us see how this happens. So you have already learned about the structure of the amoeba, that it has the irregular shape. So you will recall that amoeba is a single cell organism, and it begins the process of reproduction from the division of its nucleus into two nuclei. So this one is the nucleus of amoeba. It will further divide into two nuclei. So this is the division of nucleus, and it begins the process, and then after this is transformed the division of its body into two, and each part receiving a nucleus. So here you can see that now this body of the amoeba is transforming or dividing into two, and each part is receiving the one nucleus. And then after, finally these two amoeba are reproduced or produced from the one parent amoeba, and these are known as the daughter amoeba also. So this is the asexual reproduction in amoeba, and this type of asexual reproduction in which an animal reproduces by dividing into two individuals is called binary fission. So in amoeba the type of reproduction is binary fission. Here it is given to you, binary fission. So apart from budding and binary fission, there are other methods by which a single parent reproduces young ones, and you will study about this in your higher classes. So here we have to study about only two type of asexual reproduction, that is budding and binary fission. So here our chapter gets over. So before ending the chapter, let me see the one story which is given here about Dolly the clone. So now let me see what is the clone or cloning. So cloning is the production of an exact copy of a cell, any other living part, or a complete organism. Cloning, that means to copy anything. It may be cell, other living part, or any organism. So cloning of an animal was successfully performed for the first time by the Ian Wilmut and his colleagues at the Roslin Institute of Edinburgh in Scotland. They made or they copy any animal. So this is the first time the process of cloning of any animal, or to make a copy of any animal, they have performed the first time this one, that is Ian Wilmut with his colleagues in the Roslin Institute of Edinburgh, Scotland. They successfully cloned or made the copy of a sheep named Dolly. And Dolly was born on 5th July 1996 and was the first mammal to be cloned. It was the first mammal whose copy is made, and it is the mammal, that means the organism which can give a birth to the young ones. Here it is shown to you during this process how they make this process possible. So here it is given to you that during the process of cloning Dolly, a cell was collected from the, here two sheeps are there. First one is the Finn Dorset sheep and Scottish blackface ewe. So during this process, a cell was collected from the mammary gland of a female Finn Dorset sheep. Mammary gland, that means a female organ in the female of any organism which produces milk for the sustenance of the young one. So that is mammary gland from the, so a cell was collected from the mammary gland of this female Finn Dorset sheep. So the cell was collected from this sheep, it is the female sheep, and simultaneously an egg was obtained from a Scottish blackface ewe. From this male sheep, the cell was also egg was also obtained, and then after the nucleus was removed from the egg, and then the nucleus of the mammary gland cell from the Finn Dorset sheep was inserted to the egg of the Scottish blackface ewe whose nucleus had been removed. So whatever the egg they are collected from this sheep, they remove the nucleus from that cell, and then after they place the nucleus of this sheep's cell in the egg which has no nucleus earlier, or they remove the nucleus. So the egg thus produced was implanted into the Scottish blackface ewe. Then after this egg was implanted in this Scottish blackface ewe, and then after development of this egg followed normally, and finally the Dolly was born. And though the Dolly was given birth by this Scottish blackface ewe, it was found to be absolutely identical, or you can say similar to this one Finn Dorset ship from which the nucleus was taken. That means this ship only gave its nucleus, and this one Scottish blackfish ewe gave the birth to the dolly, and it was also implanted and developed by this Scottish blackfish ewe. Then after, what happened, let we see. Since the nucleus from the egg of the Scottish blackfish ewe was removed, Dolly did not show any character of the Scottish blackfish ewe. From this ship they removed the nucleus, so that's why this Dolly does not show any characters of Scottish blackfish ewe. And Dolly was the healthy clone of the Finn Dorset sheep and produced several offspring of her own through normal sexual means. And then after, Dolly shows the characteristics of the Finn Dorset sheep whose nucleus they collected, and then after, Dolly also produced several offspring or young ones of her own through the normal sexual reproduction. And unfortunately, the Dolly died on the 14th of February 2003 due to certain lungs disease. And since Dolly, several attempts have been made to produce clone mammals. Then after also there are attempts to be made to produce clone or copy of any mammals. However, many die before the birth or die after soon the birth. It may be possible that many die before the birth and soon after the birth. And the clone animals are many a times found to be born with severe, or you can say serious, abnormalities. So this is the cloning process by which you can copy any animals, but here once it was tried or it was successfully implemented by the Ian Wilmut. How they implemented that we had seen in the story of Dolly. So here our chapter gets over. Here the hard words for these chapters are given to you. That first one is asexual reproduction, binary fission, budding, eggs, embryo. The next one is external fertilization. Then after is fertilization, foetus, internal fertilization, metamorphosis. The next word is oviparous animals, sexual reproduction, sperms, viviparous animals, and zygote. This one you have to write in your notebook. And let me now see the summary of this chapter. So in the starting we had seen that there are two modes by which the animals reproduce. So these are the sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. The next we had seen that is reproduction resulting from the fusion of male and female gametes is called sexual reproduction. Then next we had seen that the reproductive organs in the female includes ovaries, oviduct, and uterus. And the reproductive organs in the male includes testes, sperm ducts, and penis. The next we had seen that is the ovary produce female gametes called ova, and the testes produce male gametes called sperms. The next we had seen that is the fusion of ovum and sperm is called fertilization, and the fertilized egg is called a zygote. Then after we had seen that the fertilization that take place inside the female body is called the internal fertilization, and this is observed in the human beings and other animals such as hens, cows, and dogs. And the fertilization that take place outside the female body is called external fertilization, and this is observed in frogs, fish, starfish, etc. in aquatic animals. The zygote, then after we had seen that the divides repeatedly to give rise to an embryo, and the embryo gets embedded, or it is fixed in the wall of the uterus for the further development. The next we had seen that the stage of the embryo in which all the body parts are identifiable is called the foetus, and animals such as human beings, cows, and dogs which give birth to the young ones are called viviparous animals. The next we had seen that animals such as hen, frog, lizard, and butterfly which lay eggs are called the oviparous animals. The next we had seen that is the transformation of the larva into adult through drastic changes is called metamorphosis. And the type of the reproduction in which only a single parent is involved is called asexual reproduction. And in Hydra, new individuals develop from birds, and this method of asexual reproduction is called budding. And then after at the end we had seen that the amoeba reproducing by dividing itself into two. So this type of asexual reproduction is called binary fission. So these are the things we had seen in this chapter. So here with the chapter number 9, our semester 1 exam syllabus also gets over. So this chapter 1 to 9 you have to prepare for your unit test 3 as well as for the semester 1 examination. You have to prepare textbook exercise as well as extra exercise. You will find this both the exercise on the study material for all the chapters, and you have to prepare each and every exercise. Everything will be asked in the examination. You have to prepare short exercises like MCQ, fill in the blanks, true false, matching, thereafter difference, classification, definition, answer in one word, answer in one sentence, answer in short, reasons, and answer in details also. So you have to in short prepare all the exercise. Now in the next video we will see the textbook solution for this chapter before ending our syllabus. Thank you.